Early in the morning.
What's going on, the people? It's your boy Cam, Topical Juice, and we are back with another episode of Love Island. This episode was pretty dead, not really much to report on. I thought we were going to see more of a fallout from the day before's episode with the movie night, Georgia getting exposed, all these things, but instead we got storylines involving Sophie, who's just being dramatic about everything, Joanna, who was coming across snaky, and just all these little random B plots that no one really cares about, you feel me? So let's get straight into the nitty gritty, man, you feel me? Like the video for me, hit the buzz, be notified for me, please press that subscribe button for me. Road to 50k, merchandise, all of that, support everyone else. Shout out all the Love Island creators as well who have been slugging through. So the episode starts with the fallout from the whole Georgia getting exposed gate, right? And ultimately Molly's just bare crying. She feels that, Georgia's moving mad, show some respect to me and Callum, because while Molly can be annoying, she does raise some good points as well. And she feels that Georgia was really downplaying her history with Callum. Like, what do you know about history? You're talking about history with Toby, this, that and the other. What do you know about history when I've got history with Callum? The person you're disrespecting. You're disrespecting me and my ex, this, that and the other. So I get it, Molly is frustrated. And when we see the preview for tomorrow's episode, this Georgia girl, if Molly turned around and said, listen, I'm gonna slap this girl out right now, everyone will be cheering, bro. Get in there and happy slap with Georgia, because she's moving mad. Callum's frustrated as well because he's annoyed that Georgia goes around talking about how loyal she is, but really she's just full of shite, absolute shite. She's not loyal, she's not authentic, she's not trill, she's not as real as she thinks she is. Yeah, basically Molly and Callum are just both pissed off at Georgia for different reasons, essentially. Or same but different. Georgia and Toby speak, right? And Toby's empathizing with G a little bit. He says, listen, you are in it for yourself, you're not married to the guy. But I can see where he's coming from. She says the same thing, listen, everyone's upset. I feel like I've upset everyone in the villa. I have to take responsibility for that. And it just feels like, it just sounds like PR to me, guys. It sounds like public relations. Georgia doesn't really understand what she's done wrong in this situation, I believe. I think it's PR. I think she's just saying what she feels she should say to win some people over. And taking accountability for upsetting people in the villa is a good way to start, you feel me? So, and then this donut says, I've never liked two people at the same time, Tobe. I've never liked, oh, that's the wrong accent. Shit, I forgot what she sounds like. But anyway, listen. She basically turns around and says, I've never liked two people at the same time. On the outside, I would never do this. But on the inside, I have to, Tobes. Sorry, wait, hang about. Let's break down the logic in that. On the outside, she would only speak to one person, right? But on the inside, she feels she has to talk to multiple. I don't understand that when your options are severely restricted in the villa. Wouldn't it make sense logically to do it the other way? You know what? In the villa, there's not really many options. If I like someone, I should go for it. Because on the outside, there's gonna be a lot of different distractions. There's gonna be a lot of people at this event, that party. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? What's the difference between you being loyal on the outside versus you being loyal in the villa? Either way, she's chatting that old Epa nonsense. She wasn't loyal to that guy Sam or whatever, who she was with, Sam. She weren't loyal to him on the outside. She weren't loyal to people on the inside. She ain't loyal in general. Flat out, period, you feel me? So Sophie and Josh speak, and their little tiff is getting a bit annoying now. I feel like Sophie just moans and feels disrespected because of what Josh has been saying and how he's been moving with Joanna. I understand that. I've got no problem with her being annoyed, but she just kept... My problem is towards the end, once they squashed it, and then Joanna bringing it all back up, and then them... we'll get to that in a minute, and she's gonna be my donut of the day for that still. But Josh doesn't appreciate how he got shouted at like a little boy across the pool, and she's just pulling her face because... Either way, Josh apologizes for how he kind of handled the situation. Sophie kind of accepts it, and yeah, it is what it is. Molly and Tom speak. Molly again starts moaning that she feels that Tom lied to her. And I don't necessarily think he did lie, if I'm being honest. I don't think he did lie to her. But you can see that Molly's holding on and harboring negative feelings towards Tom regarding his age. Now, he actually brought this up unprovoked a few days ago. Do you remember when they first got together? Out of nowhere, Tom was talking to another boy, and he said, you know what, I think she's got a problem with my age. But we had never seen anything before him saying that gave us that impression. Clearly, they'd spoken about it off camera. But I was thinking, that's interesting. Where did he get that from? I haven't seen that. We now can see that Tom was telling the truth in that sense, because she randomly brings up his age, starts talking about, you're acting like a 24-year-old, stop my head. As far as 24-year-olds act, I don't think he does act like a 24-year-old. I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's mad mature, but a lot of 24-year-olds, they're like a dog on heat. He is a bit more relaxed. He's a bit more composed. You know, so much so that she even said, why is it always you that tells me to come to you? No, you come to me. Because that's the type of person that Tom is. He's relaxed, he gets all the girls come to him, he can just say jump and the girls will say how high. But I don't think he was necessarily being immature. But I do agree with Molly, where I think he was just lapping it up. He was just enjoying it. Of course, he's a man at the end of the day. He's a 24-year-old man. He's got 2 gorgeous girls that fancy him. Of course he's going to lap it up a little bit. He's not just going to go on the first ever conversation with G. Oh, you know what, G? I don't like you. I hate you. I'm going to shut it off and just focus on Molly. That's not going to happen, is it? That might happen down the line. It's not going to happen the first day he comes in, is it? So Molly, chill out a little bit. They've got some history, allegedly, or whatever, and they're having a bit of flirtiness. Of course he's going to love it. He's going to be reveling in it. But at the end of the day, he never pursued Georgia. He pursued you. So yeah, that's the bit that kind of annoys me. But either way, they squash it. Arabella speaks to G, boring chat. Joanna and Chris speak, and he says that he can't see himself being interested in anyone else. Then he kisses her cheek. These times we know that Joanna really secretly likes Josh. Now G pulls Callum, and again, I don't even need to go over this. They're flogging a dead horse here. They're not really bringing any new points to the table, to the argument. She just basically says, listen, I love being with you for as long as I was coupled up with you. He's just basically saying how he was confused about the hideaway, and she's still in denial, saying that, no, but that's how I did feel. But then literally a mere, not even 24 hours, literally like 8 hours later, when they woke up from that sleep in the hideaway, sleep, she's flirting with Tom. They just go around in circles and squash it, sort of. Now the next morning comes around, and Chris is making breakfast for Joanna while she's getting rizzed up by Josh. They're just having some dead conversation. Again, they're kind of flirting. It's kind of like, we kind of fancy each other, but we don't really want to piss off the other people we're with because we ain't got the balls to do it like Josh and Joanna. They do it all secretly and all this. But I felt a little bit sorry for Chris, because Chris, apart from that first day where he was the gallus, where he was getting all the girls, he don't get girls, bro. In terms of like, he always ends up pushing some girls away. Like maybe it's the jokes, it's the constant laughter, I don't know, whatever it is. Sophie and Josh speak again. They squashed it now. And Josh says to Sophie, I'm only interested in you. And Sophie's now in that mentality of like, I'd love to hear that, that's great news. However, you're gonna have to lock it off with Joanna now. Like we ain't doing this again. You have to lock it off, get it done, bury it, yeah, 6 feet deep, lock it off. So he's like, cool, let me speak to Joanna. Molly and G end up having a chat, and they end up just talking about the bit that annoyed Molly the most was her questioning the history of things. And they understand each other's point of view, but they just wanted to clear the air. Again, there isn't really much in like things to talk about here, but Josh and Tom speak, and Josh reiterates to Tom that he does want to focus on Sophie. And while this is going on, Joanna is speaking to Kaz, I believe, right? These times she's saying, yeah, while I'm 100% towards Chris, there's a small percentile of me that wants Josh. And Kaz is basically sitting there saying, you know what, if you've got 100% with Chris, I think you should go with that. Because that's all we want in this villa, to be sure about someone. And Kaz, the reason Kaz is saying that naturally is because she hasn't found anyone in here. She would be grateful just to have a connection with someone and pursue it. But Love Island producers, they brought Kaz in here purely for the quota, fact. And they haven't dumped her purely for the quota. Kaz's time's run out, if I'm being honest with you. I love Kaz, but she ain't gonna meet someone now, is she? There's 2 weeks left. Who's she gonna really build a connection? Unless they bring someone in last minute who wants to go for Kaz, her time's up. But they're not gonna the reason they're not gonna bring someone in for Kaz is because she'll win. God forbid they can't have Kaz winning. The people at the top cannot have Kaz winning, especially as she hasn't been in a proper couple since the start, or since ever. Do you know what I'm saying? Because if they bring in someone that wants to go for Kaz's popularity will carry them both into the final, possibly to win. So the producers won't do that. So you might as well send Kaz home, because what is she doing here? She's just in some friend couple, just giving advice to other couples who don't really deserve it. It ain't fair. But obviously, I'm happy she's enjoying her time here, but her time limit's done, man. Now, let's get Kaz out of the villa so she can meet someone that actually truly wants to be with her, not playing games like Lord Farquhar. Anyway, I've gone off topic here, but either way, Joanna's talking about, yeah, should I risk it all for Josh? I like this guy 100%. Should I risk it all for Josh? And Kaz is like, well, no, not really. Anyway, Josh comes over now, and he says, you know what? It's a bit awkward, but I think I'm just gonna pursue Sophie now, right? And she's like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God, because yeah, no, I was just saying to Kaz that while I'm 98% with Chris, there's still a little bit of like, oh, should I pursue Josh? But then I started to say to Kaz, oh, maybe we mistaken our connection for like, because we're both big personalities. What? Wait, hang about. Since when was Joanna considered like a big personality in the villa? Don't get me wrong, I like the girl. She's fine as well. I wouldn't classify her as a big personality. And is that something that draws people to each other? I'm a big personality, you're a big personality, so let's just get drawn together? I don't really think that's how it works. Yeah, so Joanna, you get my donut of the day, yeah, for what you do next, but it starts from here, because Joanna's like, oh yeah, thank God. Oh yeah, no, oh, thank God you said it, because I was gonna have to say it, and that was a bit, what are you talking about? You were sitting there 30 seconds prior talking about, I'm gonna risk it all for Josh, basically. I like someone 100%, but yet that's not enough for me to pursue it with them. I like someone 100%, but I'm still open to pursue this person who I like for 1%. Like, come on, man. Anyway, Josh does what he's supposed to do and he locks it off with Sophie. Yeah, forget the whole terrace conversation earlier in the day. He does what he's supposed to do. And I completely am on Josh's side here, right? Fast forward 30 seconds, yeah. Josh is comfortable now. He's done what he's supposed to do. He locked it off with Joanna. He's happy with Sophie. 30 seconds later, Joanna takes it upon herself to tell Sophie that he pulled her to the, that Josh pulled her, Joanna, to the terrace that day, earlier in the day. She felt the need, oh, you know what, even though we've locked it off, even though you look really happy together, I need to get this off my chest. Oh, what should I do, girls? What should I do? Josh actually pulled me to the terrace. What should I do? Do we think Sophie deserves to know this? Oh, what should I do? Guys, that is flat out bullshit. Like, what kind of girl code is that? The girls in this season are booky, guys. What does that achieve? And unfortunately, this is the female logic. The way a female's logic works is they would much prefer to know something, even if it's not that important, just to prevent it coming out from someone else. Does that make sense? So like women, even if knowing it only has negative repercussions, like you become more insecure or whatever, women would rather know it from the man, just in case they hear it down the line 10 years later from a girl. But the reality is, it doesn't matter. The outcome is what matters. It's not the same as Josh. Josh didn't do what Georgia did. Georgia was literally flip-flopping her opinions. Now, while Josh can come across like a flip-flopper from saying that he's open to get to know you in the morning and not in the evening, at the end of the day, they were both getting to know each other. They were both pulling each other, and he's reached a conclusion that, you know what, he's now going to pursue Sophie rather than Joanna. That's a massive difference between Georgia completely blowing smoke up Callum's ass, for example, saying this, that and the other, say I wouldn't want to be with anyone else, this, that and the other, and then flirting with someone else. I think Josh is well within his rights to change his mind on that and say, you know what, we're in a little bit of a love triangle here. I've got Sophie, I don't really want to pursue it. You've got Chris, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, I don't really think that logic makes sense. I think Joanna had no real reason to say that to Sophie, because then Sophie's reaction was exactly the same as what I would have expected. Oh, what's he's playing silly buggers now, he's playing games. Oh, I would have rather found out. And now she's grilling Josh. Oh, you should have told me that because now I've got to find out from another girl. Like, bro, no one should have told you because it was completely pointless. We were contemplating pursuing something. We've now both come to the same conclusion that we don't want to pursue something. So if you get, Joanna, if you came to that conclusion in your own head as well, why do you feel the need to then tell Sophie? If it's a mutual breakup, then cool, no one cares. Like, I don't know, man, that whole logic made zero sense and it just came across as very bitter. You know, it came across as like a breakup attempt, to be honest. But anyway, guys, the newbies come in, it's the twins. Yeah, I mean, are the twins, are they gonna find anyone they like in there? I swear them twins, them twins, they I think they like a little bit of chocolate, you know what I'm saying? I think they like a little bit of caramel. So I don't think they're gonna find anyone that they like in there, really and truly. They come in with some blondie who I've never seen before. I don't think I've seen him before. And yeah, there's a preview for tomorrow where I think one of the twins kisses Squarehead, Xbox Head, obviously. What did I tell you? And then one of them kisses Lord Farquhar as well. And then Georgia again, and then basically Georgia from tomorrow night's episode, the new blondie kisses Molly. And then Georgia has to say something like, is that the first time you two have kissed? Insinuating, like, have they kissed before? Have they done bits before? Why would you say that when there's already friction between you and Molly? Why would you say that when Callum's sitting there so they make you feel, I don't know, man. Let me know your thoughts, guys. What the hell do I know? I'm just a man in his 20s. Peace.